The law of attention just might not be magic, but what it might be is just very specific goal setting. It is all over the internet over the last few years. Two different concepts. The first one is the law of attraction or the law of attention. And the second one is more on the woo-woo side of the internet, on the esoteric side of the internet, that talks about manifestation, maybe also in a religious context. So now the question is, why does this even exist? And usually these concepts exist because they work in one way or another. One easy way to explain this would be the placebo effect. If you believe something into something very hard, it might actually turn out to be true, more likely. So, for example, if you believe that a certain food is good for you, then you actually can switch or change the body's response to this food at least slightly. The same is true for medications. Some say up to 70% of normal medicine is basically based on the placebo effect. I just wanted to fact check this number I remembered in my head, but I couldn't find any, so take this with a grain, maybe even a whole pot of salt. So if we also exclude now the placebo effect, then maybe there is some overlap with principles of neuroscience, explained to me by Andrew Huberman mostly. So from what I understand is that there is a part of our brain which is maybe also identical to the neocortex. Maybe it is not completely identical, but the neocortex, or the part of our brain we kind of think as us, is kind of made for rule setting. And now these rules can be modified. And the idea is that you can maybe also take it upon your own to modify these rules. So therefore, a certain behavior of your own, or a certain life situation, for example, or just a certain situation, might have a different meaning for you and might also be interpreted differently if you change the rule setting. So instead of a workout just being draining and hard, if you change the rules that then interpret how this workout is viewed into, this is something that brings me closer towards this goal of mine, then what you actually can do is you can even adjust the dopamine basically. So this actually then turns into an activity that gives you dopamine because you say for yourself that this is something that is worth doing. Now, a major problem in life in general is that you don't really have a very specific idea of what the outcome should actually be. So therefore, you don't really have a goal. And even if you are one of these people who actually fill out task managers and goal lists and so on, and maybe have different systems in place to actually turn these goals of yours step by step into more of a reality, you still might have the problem that all of these different domains of these goals are not really connected. And so now, the ideal proxy, at least what I think about the ideal proxy, and maybe this is just a theory of mine or a hypothesis, is that maybe a better version of you would be the ideal proxy. So therefore, by creating something like what these people now do with their manifestation tactics, and also with the law of attraction and so on and so forth, with the law of attraction still being a little bit different. It's basically the law of attraction more goes into not demanding anything from life, but just basically kind of using also reciprocity and altruism in order to give, and then you will be given basically. But I think the law of attention or manifestation is kind of different. And what I think of now as the overlap between those two different things, the actual biological systems that you run on, and these woo-woo concepts of manifestation, might be this. By setting a manifestation of what you want to be, you basically create this ideal proxy. And this ideal proxy is you in the future. It's a better version of you, because the problem with other people being your role models will always be that these other people are not you. They're basically the closest thing that will ever be the thing that will be closest to you at any point in time will always be the version of you that came before you and came after you. Maybe in 10 years, for example, the version of you might be more different than now you and another person. But that's a different story. So therefore, and also 10 years is just a lot of time. But due to genetics playing such a huge role, and due to being environmental factors maybe also playing such a huge role, there basically won't be a person that is more similar to you than your historic and future selves. For this reason now, if you create an ideal proxy, if you create a better version of yourself as your ideal proxy, and you then use it in order to align your behaviors with getting to this ideal proxy, of reaching this goal, of becoming this person, it actually kind of creates, I think, a mental shortcut, because you don't have to optimize for all of these different things. Optimize for HRV, for example, optimize for maybe speaking more to different people, optimize for, I don't know, washing your groceries, not your groceries, but your dishes more efficiently, I don't know. If you just think of yourself as this future version of you that then has a better grip on life, has a better grip on things, just is a better person in total, then you assume just the different optimizations over time have made this person into this better person. And this better person now is just a better person, and therefore is basically you, but better, and is able to do all the different tasks that are demanded just better as you now. So now, if you do something like create a vision board or use manifestation or the law of attention, then what you are essentially doing is you are just using your rule-making apparatus. So you're basically saying to yourself, okay, this is the goal. And now, because you in the future, or you, a better version of you, is maybe such a good proxy, at least according to my not very verified hypotheses, then by using a principle like manifestation, you are actually creating the thing you would want to create all along. Not like 20 different goals, like I want to run this fast and so on and so forth, but you are taking the shortcut and you're saying, what if I just was way more fit? How would I approach running? What would I actually do from a day-to-day basis? Would I still eat burgers at McDonald's, or would I probably eat a lot healthier? So basically, all of these things, all of these concepts, maybe are overlapping in the point where you just create a much better version of a goal, and the much better version of the goal is a person that has achieved maybe a lot of goals already, so therefore is just a simplifications of all of the different sub-goals you would need to manage and to achieve, because you can always just think of what this better person would do.